All right, so this first question is from Rachel. I'm thinking about adding PayPal as a payment option because I charge in Australian dollars, and it's been a suggestion that maybe it might be more comfy for US consumers. I'm just going through the setup video and noticed the section around setting up an auto return URL. This bit has confused me because I've only ever used Stripe, and that just automatically takes purchasers straight to their confirmation page with login details. If I want that to happen, do I still put the URL for my website in here, or you guys just redirect to the confirmation page? Or do I put the actual confirmation page URL in, or do I not configure this? Sorry for the confusion. Do you see any problems with setting up PayPal as a payment method in addition to Stripe? Okay, I'll take the last question first because that's the easier question. Is there any issue with using PayPal and Stripe together? No, there's absolutely no issue with that. Totally fine. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna get my tea while I explain this. So the difference between, just conceptually, the difference between Stripe and PayPal. Stripe is an on-site payment service, meaning all of the transactions and everything are handled on your site, meaning the customer doesn't have to go anywhere else to complete the purchase. Whereas PayPal is an off-site payment service. So in order for them to complete the transaction, they're taken to PayPal. And then at the end of them completing that transaction on the PayPal side, they're redirected back to your site. This is where the concept of the auto return URL comes into play, because they've been redirected to PayPal, so they're not on your site anymore. So once they complete the transaction there, PayPal needs to know where to send them back to after the purchase. And so the URL that I'll show you where to get this URL, but the URL that you're going to put into PayPal to send them back to is a particular script within MemberMouse. It's not a page that anybody is ever going to see, but what this script does is it retrieves the information from PayPal, it looks at it, and it understands who the person is who made this purchase. And as a result of that, MemberMouse will then determine which confirmation page to send them to. This all happens transparently, but just so you kind of know the flow of it. So just to reiterate, customer lands on the confirmation, the checkout page. They click checkout with PayPal. At that point, MemberMouse will create a pending account for them. You'll notice if you actually do a test on this, when you click to go over to PayPal, if you go to the Manage Member screen, you'll see a new account is created, but the status of that account will be pending activation. So on the PayPal side now, you go ahead and complete the purchase. It redirects them back to the auto return URL that you enter in. MemberMouse then can look up that account because it's been created and it's in pending activation. It will mark it as active now that the payment's been received, and then it will send the member to the appropriate confirmation page. Ultimately, you really don't need to know any of that, but maybe it's helpful for you to understand. Really, the only thing you need to know is what URL to put in for the auto return URL. So for that, I'll share my screen here. Right, and we will go to payment settings. Okay, so you're talking about PayPal. So we'll go ahead and activate PayPal. So you can see here, hold on, let me just refresh my memory here. In PayPal, you have the option to have it automatically redirect to MemberMouse confirmation page. Okay, yeah. So this is going to be put inside the place. where you're, so yeah, sorry. So basically, the short answer is just use this URL. This is the exact URL that you need to use. You'll notice you can't edit this at all. So you just need to put this in the place where the support article tells you to put it. I don't remember off the top of my head where this exactly goes inside of PayPal, but you're just going to copy and paste this into the place inside of PayPal where it tells you to put it. You also want to make sure that you configure this notification URL correctly. And again, you'll just copy and paste this URL into the place in PayPal that it tells you where to put it. Okay. If you need any assistance with that, just email our support team at support@membermouse.com. They'll be able to help you if you have any specific execution questions about getting that set up correctly. But once you get it set up correctly, that's all. You only need to do it once. Everything will run fine after that point. Okay, so next question is from Stephanie. I have a couple questions. First, the feature that prevents members from sharing or logging in from multiple IP addresses, do I need to do anything to activate that feature, or is this part of MemberMouse? Two, is there a way to have members see a specific welcome page when they log in and only show it the first time they log in? Okay, so with regards to your first question, let me share my screen again. Okay, so we go to General Settings, Other Settings, and we go to see Account Sharing Protection. This, I believe, is enabled by default in MemberMouse, but you can always just check by going to General Settings, Other Settings, and seeing that this is checked off. If this is checked off, then this is the number of IP addresses, different IP addresses that MemberMouse will allow in a given 24-hour period to access an account. So the default number of 5 is pretty, I would say, lenient, allowing an account to be logged into within 24-hour period from 5 different IP addresses. You do want to take into account, okay, that somebody may have, they maybe have an IP address from work or from their mobile device and from their laptop or whatever. So, two IP addresses, I would assume is pretty safe and standard. 3 is probably pretty safe and, can meet normal use cases. Anything above that, you're starting to get into territory where it may indicate that more than one person is using the account. So basically, the lower the number, the more tight the security is, right? But of course, you want to be careful with that. You don't want to set it too low where you're blocking people out of their account in normal situations. So, it really depends on your situation. I think 5 is a pretty safe number just as a general rule, but if you want to tighten security for whatever reason, a particular type of business you're running or whatever, you would reduce that number. But if it's checked off, then it's automatically doing it. You don't need to do anything else. And also, if you're concerned about people attempting to log in too many times, I'm just going to check out this article, see if we mention it in here. There's a plugin called Limit Login Attempts. Which is another WordPress plugin, and MemberMouse has an integration with this plugin. And so it'll actually, oh, here, it's right here, limit login attempts. So you can install this plugin and it will make it such that it will limit the number of times a person can log in before it blocks them out for a certain period of time. So that's another security type of feature you can implement with regards to logging in. Okay, so as far as your second question, so the two parts of this question. The first part is there a way to have members see a specific welcome page when they log in? Yes, there is a way to do that. So the way that you do that is, first of all, your member homepage settings, again, general settings, other settings. You want your homepage settings to be set up such that when a member logs in, redirect them to a homepage specific to their member level. You want that to be checked. And then also send them to the default homepage. And then this one is up to you. This has to do with when they click the home button, when they're already logged in. When they click the home button, where do you want it to take them to? Do you want it to take them to their member homepage, or do you want it to take them to the site homepage as defined in WordPress? So that's just another option, and it's up to you how you want that to work. But in regards to what they're shown when they log in, that's dependent upon this. So if you have this checked, then what will happen is if you go to your pages, let's say we'll add a new page, and this will be the member homepage. So just, no, I don't want the bookmark. Just call this homepage. And then you'll see down here in the core page settings, I'll specify that this is a member homepage. And I will make this the member homepage for paid membership, the paid A membership in my system. And I'll just say, welcome to the membership homepage for paid A members. And I'll publish that. Okay, so now if I go ahead and purchase paid A membership, okay, and this is my username. So I'll go ahead and log out. And then I will log in. What is my password? Oh, right. I need to do this again. We'll type in my password so I know what it is. Okay, so now you see when I log in, I'm automatically redirected to the homepage for that I just created for paid A members. And I'll show you the distinction. So if I click to go home, currently I have it set up to go to the WordPress homepage. So when I click this, it'll take me to the page that I have defined as my WordPress homepage. But if I change this setting to send them to the member homepage when they click home, and I refresh this page, and I click this, you'll see it will now take me to the homepage. That's the difference between this setting. Okay, so the second part of your question is, can you only show this to them once? The answer to that is no. not with this particular function. So if when the home page is defined, you show it to them every single time they log in. Now, what you could do using smart tags, if you only want to show somebody a message for, say, their first day as a member on their homepage, we can use the member decision smart tag. So if I go to the support center and type in member decision, do that. And we're going to use the days as member attribute for this example. So I'll just copy this code here, so I can reuse it. And I will go to my member homepage that I just created. Which is this. And I will add a new block that is just HTML. Paste that in. And I want to do this based on days as member. Let me just look at the documentation, make sure. It takes an integer and specifies the number of days the current member needs to have been in order to see the content contained in this tag. You can also precede the number with a minus sign to indicate that the member should have been a member less than the number in order to see the content. So that's what we want. We want to say show this to people who have been members for less than a day. Okay, so it's possible that I didn't do this correctly and I may have to revisit it, but let us see what I did. So we need to purchase the payday membership. And I want to go to my home page. So I'll turn that setting back on again because I don't remember the URL. Okay. So only show this content for the first day. So now if I go to that member account and I manually increase the number of days they've been a member. So let's just say 2 days. And I refresh the page, we'll see now the message no longer shows up. So that's a way that you can get the message only to show up for a certain period of time. There's probably WordPress plugins that'll allow you to do like a one-time dialogue that's displayed to them and then they can dismiss it or something like that. But you could potentially do a search for that. But within MemberMouse, that's a way that you could do it. Okay. Next question. Is from Andrew. I offer a 5-day free trial with a $100 per month discount if they become paid members in 3 days on 2 different membership levels. If an affiliate of mine sends someone who signs up for the free trial and who subsequently signs up, the affiliate will the affiliate receive the proper commission? Is that correct? Without knowing specifics, when you say proper commission, it seems like your entire question is revolved around the commission, and I'm not sure what you mean, what you think the proper commission is in this situation. So I can't say if they're going to receive the proper commission. Let me see if I can generalize your question a bit and maybe give some information. I offer a 5-day free trial, $100 a month discount. On 2 different membership levels. So maybe what you're asking is, will the affiliate commission apply to payments following a free trial? If that's your question, then yes, they will get commissions even if there is a free trial on the product. All right, next question is from Stephanie. Is there a way to add a purchase order payment option available? Is there a way to add purchase order payment option available? I'm not understanding the question. By purchase order, do you mean like, can somebody receive an invoice at a later date or something? Okay. No, there isn't a way to do that. There's no invoicing option where you can there are 2 things that come to mind in terms of, you're asking if, so you're saying if a company would pay for a member and needs to be invoiced. There are 2 things I can think of. One is there's a concept of gifts in MemberMouse, so somebody can buy something for somebody else. So you could do that, which is, I don't know, what did I do? You could once somebody's a member, so let's just say I need to buy something in order so that I can become a member. And then once I've done that, I can hold on. Once I become a member, I can say, okay, I want to buy this bundle for somebody else. And, there on your checkout page, you'll have a checkbox. This comes with the default MemberMouse checkout page. and you can purchase something as a gift. And then at this point, somebody can go redeem that gift, right? So the payment's been made, and then you can give this URL to somebody else. And then they can come to that URL and then just enter in their information and say redeem. And now they'll have access to the account or whatever, but they wouldn't have paid for it. Somebody else would have paid for it. The only other thing that you could do is if you want to create the account first prior to receiving payment, you could create a member account and you could comp it, so just comp this and then send an invoice, manually through some system to have somebody pay for that. But when they do pay for it, you're not going to be able to come in here and manually enter in that a transaction was made externally. So okay, good. Okay, so was all the open questions. Was there anything else before we jump off here?